Welcome to episode one, season four of Bits and Bones. I am Mortheous, and with me tonight we have Sam, Joe, Andrew G. Nelson. How are you gentlemen tonight?
Doing
I'm
good.
well. We have two authors in the house instead of just one.
Mhm.
So, anyway, though, this is Mortheous' show, so I will let Mort do the honors of introducing our guest. So, unless his internet is acting up.
It looks like it is.
The fan of the show might not know you, Andrew. Can you give us a little bit about your background.
Well, I spent 20 years with the NYPD, and after my retirement, I started writing books, and I'm currently the author of 15 novels.
Wow, up to 15 already.
Yeah,
Very
Wow.
cool. And you've got one coming out next week.
I do. Yeah, Exposed King comes out on the 27th.
And if I may say so, his books are I prefer them even over Michael Connolly's books.
Oh, thanks,
But
Sam. I appreciate that.
maybe that's just because I'm like an East Coast guy as opposed to I've spent a lot more time in New York than I have Los Angeles, so I am much more familiar with that area.
I think that plays a lot into it too. When you can actually put yourself into the book and know the areas.
Um Yeah, so just kind of a little bit about that. So you had a pretty storied career in the NYPD too. Just through all the various different departments that you were in within the department, right? Like you were in the organized crime division, or I guess they call it intel now, right?
Intelligence division, yeah.
Um, So what was that like, especially during the all the mob uh stuff in the 80s?
Well, the part of the intelligence division that I worked in, we did dignitary protection. There was an organized crime element to it that we had, and talking to the guys, I never actually did any of the organized crime work, but talking to some of the guys that were there back in the heydays in the 70s and 80s, and even going up into the 90s, it was really interesting because those guys were, in many cases, were deeply embedded into organized crime, and the stories they would tell were pretty interesting.
Yeah, I would imagine so. So your book series follows James McGuire, who at this point in the series, I believe, is police commissioner.
Yes, he is.
And so, what is the premise of Exposed King? You've written some pretty interesting posts about it as of late.
Yeah, Exposed King, actually, I started writing this book back in 2019. I did the outline for it. I had the premise in my head of sadly what's going on now. And I think that's one of the reasons why it was so hard to write this book because it felt as if, especially going into 2020, and I think 2020 was when things really started to change in this country. And as I was doing the outline and starting to write the early draft of it, I was seeing things that were starting to play out in real life that I was writing about in the book.
Yeah,
And it became very real for me. Um, and usually, like fiction is kind of like that escape. You allow your mind to kind of just wander off and what if and here it was starting to play out. But the premise of Exposed King is what happens basically when the system breaks down. What happens when sides are drawn, when the rule of law uh, basically is pushed aside, and you see politicians and the media pursuing an agenda where we'll let this person go, but we won't let that person go. And so you're seeing what happens when the system gets pushed and people decide they're not going to take it anymore. And so McGuire is caught between the political arm that is pushing an agenda and all of a sudden a new group that shows up that says no, we're not going to allow this to continue anymore.
So kind of like a vigilante uh, group, if you will.
Yeah, in many respects, yeah, absolutely.
It, so I'm curious, not to veer too much off the topic of gaming, but I am curious. In your career, did you ever see this much division
No,
in really
no.
even after after 9/11 there seemed to be a brief unity from what I can
There
remember.
was. It was brief. I always say, it's just like, just wait a couple of weeks. It'll go back to normal. Um, but even when I came on back in the 80s, crime was really high. Uh, and the difference was that back then, you at least had the people wanted you. And what we're seeing now, and you can see this especially with, what's going on in Minneapolis and with ICE, is this change in the populace that is becoming very anti-police. And I wrote an article on X dealing with this, and basically it's a misdirected anger.
Yeah.
Um, you're seeing a lot of
I agree.
politics and the media that are pushing this agenda, and they're getting people all riled up. And basically, what I said in the article was, I get it. You don't like that these laws are being enforced, but you're going about it the wrong way. You're basically going up against the cops and you're saying, don't do this. And that's not the way the system works. The people that you should be petitioning are your legislators. That's Congress. If you don't like the laws, they're the only ones that can change them. But basically, what you're saying is you're turning around to the ICE, agents, and you're saying, don't do the job that you're constitutionally required to do. And so it's a dilemma, and people just they don't understand that. But going back, when I was on, you know, you still had the people were happy to see you. So even though crime was high, you weren't dealing with this division that we have today.
Yeah, and I would also because I have friends who still live in New York, and from what they're telling me, I mean, a lot of them are also now trying to get out now that Mom Dami is mayor of that city. It seems like now it's real unfortunate that even like the leadership of a lot of these cities seems to be in favor of the anarchists and of these rioters.
Hmm.
So
Yeah,
Yeah, I agree.
it's a different mindset, unfortunately. Um, you know, it's like Mamdani getting elected. It was under the promise of you're going to get this. and it sounds good, but it always sounds good, when you're campaigning. It's when you get elected to office and you realize you can't do this, or the
Yeah.
money's not there to do that. And then basically all it is broken campaign promises.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Um, so I mean, one of the things because I've written about this a lot too in my series with Shadows of Deception, and I mean, Mort can attest that I think it's kind of scary that authors are now like kind of prognosticating a lot of this stuff in almost real time if you
These
write
books are supposed to be fiction.
thrillers.
Yeah,
What?
it,
Yeah.
it's tough. It really is, because you want to keep your drama fictional.
Yeah.
And like I said, as I'm writing this, and you're watching these things unfold, it almost, I mean, there was a part, where as a writer, you go back to the old, am I jumping the shark? Is this, is a reader going to take a look at this and go, oh no, that had never happened. And as I'm writing Exposed King, I'm going, apparently I'm not taking as much risks as I should, because this is starting to all unfold.
Well, in my case for
The last 5 years have proven anything's possible at this point.
Yep.
Yeah.
yeah, and I mean I would say, and more can even attest to this. I'm writing or I should say, I'm finishing a book right now that is kind of surrounding the Charlie Kirk assassination. It's a fictionalized version of, if you will. But the one thing that shocked me is how many people were actually cheering
Mhm.
for his, death openly. If I had written that into a story like 5, 6 years ago, even that people would be, cheering the death of a young
It would
man
have been
simply because,
believable.
yeah, it would be unbelievable. So, and I mean, I've even had like people like Steve Stratton, who I know and Eric
Mhm.
Bishop, like, message me to be careful. So,
Yeah.
yeah, it's
Yep.
it's concerning. So,
It's unfortunately we're becoming very desensitized to a number of things. Um, you know, Social media has opened up doors to contact between people that never existed before. And unfortunately, in many ways, it gives platforms to people who are okay with saying the most outlandish things, because it generates likes and shares and whatever. And it just keeps, it's like it's feeding itself. And no one's willing to take a step back and go, okay, maybe we need to calm down. Maybe we need to just, lower the heat just a little bit. you know One of the things is, you're looking at Minnesota and Minneapolis with ice, and you're having all of these confrontations. You would think that ice is only working in Minnesota, but ice is working all throughout the United States, and you're not seeing these things transpire in other locations. Why? Well, because you don't have, politicians and the media that are fomenting this strife. And you got to ask yourself, why are we doing this?
well, like even in my area where I'm at now, like I'm in Florida, which is a very conservative state, granted, but like we have ICE operations even in my area. We
Mm-hmm.
had a big one to clean out one of the shady motels here just like a few weeks ago, and it was really successful. But DeSantis put his foot down like a while ago and said that, like, it's fine to protest, but if you riot, you're gonna get
Yeah.
prosecuted to the fullest
Percent of the
extent
law.
of the law. So yeah,
And in places like Minneapolis, they understand that nobody is going to do anything, and that's why it's allowed to happen. Um,
Wh-
you do have a right to protest, but you got to ask yourself, what changes are you looking to do? Because if you're looking to change, if you don't agree with immigration and customs, you don't agree with the laws, that's
yeah,
fine. But the streets of Minneapolis are not the place, to engage in this. You're putting yourself, and unfortunately, that woman found out. You're putting yourself into a very dangerous situation. There's somebody who did law enforcement for over 20 years. The last thing you want when you're dealing with somebody that is, a felon, the last thing you want is to have your attention that's distracted away from that person because somebody here doesn't like the fact that you're arresting them. Okay, that's fine. I'm still going to arrest them. If you don't like it, go down to the courthouse, go down to, go to Washington, go to your congressman. That's where you're supposed to be taking this,
Yeah,
not out
I
the
agree.
streets, and these tragedies do happen.
I think also, though, the other thing is just like flagrant disregard for like police authority. And granted, there are cases of corruption, which I know you and I have talked about before
Sure.
and whatnot. But like by and large, I was you know raised to if the police tell you to do something, even in like and move along, it's a good idea to move around and not
Mhm.
be, not to impede. And, as I understand it, like that's what, happened. And then this one decided to make a fuss, and then, things escalated
Yeah.
when it didn't have to. So,
And not only that, like with the whole situation with it is like, why are you pulling out when you're about to be detained? You know what? You knew it was going to be something wrong. You knew you were impeding something of an investigation. So, what are you trying to go ahead and do to go ahead and have that succeed of having something, happen in that kind of case? And also, you would have unintentionally, like ran over the dude. So, what could he have done?
Well, the problem is that no one thinks there's going to be any consequences for their actions.
Yeah,
Right.
And that's why they continue to do it. And you see a lot of these times where they get arrested, they get taken in, they're processed, and they're immediately released. There's no penalty for it. And so basically, we're taking away all of the things that should make people take a second, take a breath. And do I really want to do this? Do I want to go to jail? Do I want? But no, they're even if they do get arrested, their bail is getting paid. There's no consequence to their actions in many respects. And so, if there's no consequences to your actions, why would you stop doing it?
Right.
yeah.
That's why these political action groups that, like you're saying, pay people's bail just to get them out
Yeah,
irritate me to no end. I'm like, why are they allowed to do that?
I
because they know the system. That's the sad part. I mean, and that's what I don't think people understand. And that's what the article that I wrote was. You're pawns in a much bigger game. You just don't realize it. And it's like when I was a cop, you know, and we've talked about this before. Police work isn't easy. You're taking away somebody's rights, and it's never a clean game. There's no easy way to arrest somebody. Um, And to the person on the outside that's looking at this, they can't believe it. But when we were doing it, you always understood there was like an unwritten, code between, the cops and, the colloquially, the robbers. And we all
Right.
knew it was a game. Today, you run and I don't get you. Tomorrow I do. And so we operated on a different level. We knew the rules, we knew the game. You know, no one else tried to really interject themselves into it. Now you have people that are interjecting themselves. And it's like, they say things like, well, no human is illegal. Yes, you're right. But there are still laws. And when you come to this country and you do it illegally, you've broken the law. That's law number one. If you engage in criminal behavior while you're here, those are more laws broken. So we gotta step away from this narrative of, they're going after the gardener, they're going after this. No, start looking at the arrest records on some of these people. You know, you're defending somebody who's, committed multiple homicides, drug charges, sexual assault charges. These are the people you're defending. You know, it's,
It's
it's not the
surprising.
used to die on.
A lot of it, a lot. I mean, I'm very cynical. I think a lot of these people full well know what they're doing, and I also think, unfortunately, because of like fictionalized cop shows too, people think that police work is an episode of Law and Order where things
Yeah,
get solved in just like a week, or in just a few hours in some cases, not understanding that cases, they take time to build, months if not
sure.
years
Yeah.
sometimes
Yeah.
even. So, but
Yeah.
um anyway though, well, how'd you and I don't think I've covered this with you before, but how did you get started as a gamer, then, to kind of transition?
Probably on a 286 computer. That's how far back that goes.
Oh
Um,
wow.
yeah, yeah, I might be a little bit old. Um, I've always gamed. It was just a way of kind of unwinding, at the end of the day. And just slowly progressed over the years from PC to, gaming systems. And, you know, I run the gamut, of different games, whether they're, looter shooter. Uh, I've done from the Division to Warframe.
I uh oh, hey Joe. Go ahead and mute that.
Both games are
All right. So, actually, I love the Division. I remember playing the Division 2 with my buddies, and it was fun. I just
like
really didn't get into
let's
like
do a
the
battle.
in-game content.
Yeah, I started on the Division One when it first got released back in 2015, and it was a great premise.
Yeah.
Because having been, born and raised in New York, to have a video game that was set inside New York City was pretty interesting. Because I could actually walk down the street and go, "Yep, been here, been here, been here," all the places, and knew everything.
Yep.
But the lore of that game was the intriguing part of it because it really had a great premise of, and in light of COVID, um, it became almost, prescient because I remember, playing the first game, and basically it was the dollar flu that got passed around on Black Friday.
Yeah.
And so it went through the city, and just the visuals on that, and going in and seeing obviously like the fictional Sarah, which is like the federal government FEMA comes in, and it was so weird to play it back then and then revisit it in light of COVID, and it was like, oh wow, this is kind of like really freaky. And then the Division Two takes that same premise, but then they turn around and they went down to Washington D.C. with it. And the lore is really phenomenal in both games.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, I I haven't played the Division too much, but like I love the Rainbow Six series that was developed into a game,
Hmm.
and the first two books as well. So, um, but uh, but that's also partly why we have you here is because there's new news on the division, which more you want to break that down?
Yep, a week after the Division Three shaping up to be a monster, they lose their boss, Julian Garrity, and he left from Ubisoft to EA Dice for Battlefield.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
Julian Garrity, boss of the Division franchise at Ubisoft, left the company to join EA Dice. Garrity confirmed the departure in social media, uh, speaking during the New Game Plus showcase in 2026 earlier this month. So the Division 3 is in production, right? It's not a secret. It's been announced. It's shaping up to be a monster. I can't really say anything more than that. But this is within the walls of Massive. We are working extremely hard on something that I think will be as big of an impact as the Division One was. Which somebody that's played the Division Two, that sounds pretty good to me.
yeah.
Yeah.
That was a hard one because Julian was involved in Division One, and Division One was, if you ask any division player, they will tell you that the environment of Division One was something that is to this day, and we're talking, over a decade later, is still breathtaking in it. And I'd agree. Having walked through the streets of New York City in the winter, they captured the essence of that city phenomenally well. And most division players will continue to go back to Division One and play it just to immerse themselves in the environment once again. So when the division announced that they were bringing Julian back in to do Division Three, it was one of those moments where I think most division players had gotten to the point where they didn't believe anything anymore because there was always this,
Right.
oh, this is going to come, and then there's rumors of this and rumors, and we went through. They were developing Heartland, which was going to be another game that takes place in a rural environment within the United States, and that had gone through, and that got canceled at the last minute, and
Oh, jeez.
yeah, the community was not happy. And so you had this, and it was like, like they pulled a rug out from us. And people were like, yeah, okay,
I
we're
hate
never
that.
going to see Division Three. And then they came out and they said, yeah, there's going to be a Division Three. And guess what? We're bringing in Julian Garrity. And everybody, there was like a collective sigh of relief because, here was a known quantity coming from Division One.
Known
And
quantity. He's your guy for the franchise.
yeah, so people were excited about it because it's like, okay, so they're not playing. and there was a lot of hype with it and whatnot. And then they just had this show in Japan, and people were really psyched for it. And coming right out of the show, it was like, oh, and Julian's going, and it was like, oh, okay, this isn't good. And
Like, son
then
of a
you
bitch.
see what's going on with Ubisoft and their stock and everything, and it's like, I guess we'll get Division 3 eventually.
Well, Andrew, we still might get it before Grand Theft Auto 6 at this
That's
point.
true. That's true.
And certainly before Red Dead Redemption
Ubisoft
3.
cancels six.
Yeah, they've canceled a bunch of
But
projects.
yeah, Ubisoft cancels 6 projects, including Prince of Persia: Sands of Time remake, closes 2 studios, and confirms further layoffs in major company restructure. Ubisoft announced sweeping restructure result in the cancellation of 6 games, including Prince of Persia, and the delay of 7 further titles. The 2 Ubisoft studios will be closed completely as a result of the changes. Half of the half dozen games that have been fully scrapped, Ubisoft only publicly naming one, which was Prince of Persia. But yeah, it's my let's see. Ubisoft Stockholm will be fully closed as a result of the changes. Having previously collaborated with Avatar Frontiers of Pandora, along with the mobile studio Ubisoft Halifax. Restructuring will also taken place at Ubisoft offices in Abu Dhabi, at Trial Studio, Redlings, and Massive. The home of the division. In addition, all games will be required to return. All teams will be required to return in office working 5 days a week, albeit an annual allowance of remote working days. So restructuring and all hands on deck in office.
Well, they should have done that from the beginning, though.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, it's sad to me that, but you see this happening more and more with these video game companies. It feels like in many ways they're losing their connection to their player base. And instead
Right.
of giving the players what they're asking for, it's like, yeah, we know you know
They're
you
following a checklist.
yeah, you ask for A, B, C, and D, and we're going to give you 3 and 9. It's like we're not even talking about the same things, but it's like they're pushing these agendas out. They're pushing out stuff, and it's like this is not what we're asking you for. And I don't know how you fix that divide with it.
Well, the other thing that I don't know about you, but that irritates me is like AAA games are getting really expensive now as is. Like you're paying $70 sometimes for new games,
Yeah.
and now
Yeah,
the
more.
the
And
industry wants
it's not even you're not even getting that game physically to put on and to have. You're
right.
basically paying
Right. It's a
$70
license.
for something that can be taken away at a heartbeat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like not only that, like some of the games, like when like everything's all said and done, and they can't make any more money off of it, they just delete the whole damn thing.
Sure, yeah.
And like that's one thing I really do appreciate about like the stop killing games movement. And it's like, you know what, you don't need to go ahead and have like you don't need to go ahead and support it if you guys don't want to go ahead and do it. Just go ahead and give us like a way to go ahead and set up a server so we can still keep playing, because I
Right.
paid a whole bunch of money for this game. Why would I want to go ahead and, like, just because you guys aren't going to support it doesn't mean I didn't buy that,
Yeah. Yeah.
and like I still want to play it. Because,
And that's the thing. I mean, I still have a PlayStation 2, a PlayStation 3. I can throw discs in and I can play my games.
yeah.
Um, and now you don't have that option anymore. It's like they pull the plug, it's gone. So, it's tough when you're trying to keep a base or to grow a base. The last thing you want to do is engage in, like, stuff that just, makes people turn around and go, why do I want to invest in my time and my money into this?
Yeah, well, there's also, the whole thing too of uh day one patches, which I've ranted about for years. Of if you're going to charge $70 for a game,
Yeah.
it better work on day one, or
Hmm.
be
On release day.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's like going to buy your new car and they say, well, we haven't put the engine in yet. You can push it though. It's like, no, I'd like to play, but I won't buy a game even if something comes out that I'm really stoked about playing. It's like, yeah, it's going to be a month or two before I'm going to throw money down.
Yeah.
It's just not worth it.
I've been I've been super excited about the new James Bond game, but at this point, I'm not sure if I'm going to buy it on day one, based on what I've been hearing about some of the developments around it.
Hmm.
I'm always going to wait for some of the reviews before I buy it. So
Yeah.
I don't blame you there.
probably.
Well, and I will say I did intentionally buy like Cyberpunk 2077, like when it like first got on, because I was told it was a crapshoot, and it was. So I just wanted to go ahead and intentionally like see how bad it was, and it was pretty magnificent. It was awful.
Yeah.
So
And
But
the
yeah,
funny
to
thing,
get a little bit more into this article, uh, it says Ubisoft is going to be broken up into essentially five creative houses. Uh, First creative house is Assassin's Creed, Far Cry, and Rainbow Six. Creative house number two is going to be dedicated to the Division, Ghost Recon, and Splinter Cell. Three is for Honor, the Crew, Riders Republic, Brawlhalla, and Skull and Bones. Uh, Number four uh, is just Evil, and the last house is Just Dance, Bro, Idle Miner Tycoon, Hungry Shark, and Invincible.
so they're dividing each studio for different games then?
yeah.
Well, that's
Yeah, basically the way I understand it is it's basically one giant company, but split into five smaller companies to give them individual focuses.
Yeah,
Which makes sense. And you would think that they would have been doing that beforehand, but you know, one of the things about Division is it it's almost quirky at this point, but it's like, every time we go through a patch or a maintenance or a new season, it's like, okay, so we got this working, but what did we break? and inevitably there's always glitches. This isn't working, that's not working, and it goes back and forth. And it's part of the charm, I guess you would say. It's frustrating, but it's you've come to expect it with the Division Two. It is what it is.
My whole thing is with the division is I wish there were like I wish there were like an offline mode where you didn't have to
Yeah.
be connected to play,
Hmm.
because like I'm on a PlayStation, and to play for and to pay for PlayStation Network, like, it's expensive
Hmm.
just to get online now. So
Yeah.
yeah, I like the premise, but I don't like the online connectivity.
Yeah, and
Uh,
it's frustrating. And there was a period where there was issues going on with the servers, and you'd get kicked constantly with it, and that's frustrating. If you're just walking around in the open world, you get booted. You're like, fine, okay. But when you're in the middle of something, like a legendary, and you're an hour into this, and you get booted, it's like.
yeah,
Yeah, you rage quit. Um, but I mean, Division Two has got a tremendous amount of content in there. So for people coming into the game, between Division One and Division Two, um, you do have a lot of playtime that's there. One of the things I don't like about the Division Two is the DZ, which is a PvP area. There's NPCs in it, but basically you're going in there, and you're going to end up playing against other players, and there's first of all, it's toxic as hell. And so I won't go in there. It's like, yeah, no, I don't need this in my life. But I wish there was a way that you could pick like levels on it, because a lot of the new players that are coming in, they venture out into the DZ, and it's an absolute bloodbath. You know.
yep, I experienced that last year.
Yeah, it's a memorable time.
Yeah, yeah, nothing like getting cursed out by like 13-year-olds too. So
I literally walked out of one of the DZ into the DZ, out of one of the command posts. Walked out the door, and was one hit, coming out the door. Somebody was camped out waiting, and literally I stepped out, and boom, I was dead. I'm like, oh, this is fun.
oh man. Yeah. Well, if Red Dead Redemption Online were still on, I'd probably be playing that, but it's not. So sadly,
Yeah.
but okay. What else do we have more? Also, Max in chat says my only gaming opinion.
Also,
Max says my only gaming opinion this week is Guild Wars. Guild Wars Reforged kicks ass, which I have not played yet. But I will take your word for that, sir. So, so anyway, carry on. More. Sorry to interrupt.
no, that's fine. We had a little bit of news from the Xbox things yesterday. They had their big early year gaming showcase. They had uh, Forza Horizon 6 just shown. They had a game, Beast of Reincarnation, that looked pretty interesting. That took a week, check out and see what everybody thinks. because I caught the tail end of this reveal yesterday, and I thought it was at least interesting to check out.
Interesting.
It's from it's from Game Freak, the Pokemon developers.
Well, so what you're saying is Nintendo can mess with more players then?
Let's see if I can get the damn thing to load.
Gotta love technical difficulties.
It's always fun.
Yeah.
What was that? He kind of broke up on my end.
No, I was saying
Yep.
gotta love technical difficulties. So. But. And.
While I'm trying to get that up, they also showed a game called Kiln, which seems to be more of a game towards like
Oh, it's bad.
of the next Fable game as well. So last time we saw this Fable, people didn't like the presumably main character at the time because it was one of those very woke seeming designs. So,
Not surprised. I just wish we could get the Max Payne remake.
Yeah.
In the near future. Speaking of anti-hero cops that I like.
I'm with Sam on that one. I could go for some more Max Payne.
So.
Yeah, I wish that they would just get away from all of this nonsense and just get back to actual fun gaming. Not everything has to have an agenda or, it's just like, just let us have fun. I mean, I don't understand why to me, it's like sports. I grew up as a football fan, baseball fan. I just want to be entertained. I don't want to be lectured on stuff. I just want to be entertained. Same thing with gaming. Just let me play a game. I don't need stuff thrown into my face. I just here this is like a deal. I give you my money, you give me a game that I can enjoy, and let's leave it at that.
Well, Andrew, that's part, and I'm sure we'll get into this when you come on my show because I know we're doing something on Sunday, but that's partially why I got into writing again.
Yeah.
Was because like I don't really go to movies anymore, and and I'm not saying it as like some sort of like hipster thing, but like most movies don't entertain me all that much these days.
No.
There are too many franchises, and there are like thousands of books that I still haven't read. So, so yeah, like I'm infinitely more excited about like what you and other indie authors are coming out with than I am, whatever is going to be going out in theaters this year. So
it just seems like the quality is just there's less time there's less time that's going into developing solid characters. it's like with this whole Starfleet Academy thing. You know, it's
Oh
Star Trek.
yeah.
This is a franchise where people like strong characters.
Yeah.
Give them a character that's well written, well defined. Let them enjoy it. Um, I've seen between the two episodes, and it's like this isn't a Star Trek. I mean, I don't know who you're making it for, but you're not making it for Star Trek fans.
No.
It
Um.
and it's like the captain sitting or reclining in her chair, and it's like you do realize that the Federation, Starfleet, is a military organization. You're not going to have a captain sitting on the bridge like that. it,
Right.
it doesn't work. And so once you're doing that, then you're basically you're giving fodder for people to pick it apart. But you didn't see that. You thought it was cool. Well, you're missing out, what the regular Star Trek fan is seeing.
Yeah. Well, it's also like I was really critical when the latest Spider-Man game came
Hmm.
out, and I'm sure you saw. I'm sure you were made aware of this, but they decided to get rid of the NYPD entirely of out of the last Spider-Man game, which is really like it's not only bad, it's also it's immersion breaking because I've been to New York City like 12 times, and I mean I know you live there, you're a
Hmm.
native, and I mean it's impossible to go anywhere and not see, at least a couple NYPD cars parked out somewhere. And so
Hmm.
to have a Spider-Man New York just completely free of cops, it makes no sense.
No,
So
no.
Well, and also, if I remember correctly, isn't it like the NYPD like larger than most militaries that we have in the world?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I don't know what the numbers are now. Back in the '90s, I think we were at about around 50,000. So yeah, it's bigger
yeah,
than a lot of country standing armies. Certainly the largest in the United States.
yeah, yeah. It's a shame. I mean, I'm not from there, but I mean, for all of the I mean, I have a lot of listeners who are from New York, and just to hear stories of how much that city has kind of declined, I can understand why you moved to the Midwest.
Hmm.
So, let's see.
Well, and it's probably better. Like in general, it's probably a lot more peaceful. I mean, I don't know where you live, but like over around where I'm at, like it's very peaceful. Like it's coming to become a bigger city, but it's still nice. And I live in Grand Junction, Colorado. So
Oh,
Yeah.
so you're still in the good part of Colorado, Tim. So,
yeah, it's kind of taking a crop, but it's not as bad.
yeah, well, Denver, which is initially where I'm from, I could, in fact, maybe this is an idea. If I wanted to try a Death Wish type thrill, I might set in downtown Denver at this point. So it's gotten real bad there. So, but oh, did Mark get rumbled?
Yeah, he got rumbled.
That happened.
Yeah,
So,
that is definitely a thing, which is wild. Um,
so
hmm. I guess there is a game that like a developer was making for like the past couple of years, and then Riot Games just said we're gonna cancel the whole thing. But like um, the developer actually started just kept on working on it, and he released it to by himself. So I will actually see that real quick. It's like high something. So HY. All right, give me 1 second. It's Windcraft. No, is that no? Give me 1 second. Is there any other kind of news for like what you guys been seeing, or not really?
Was
I think
there?
Mort had something about the guy that was doing VR stuff, and then something happened with that. He was in chat earlier,
Oh
but
yeah,
he knows more about it than I do, and I was kind of curious about it.
oh yeah,
Oh, is that the
VR.
Cyberpunk one with the VR?
Yeah, VR for Cyberpunk, which I don't have VR, so I don't know much about that to begin with. But yeah,
Yeah, I saw he pulled all of his stuff.
I yeah, I think that was the I think that was the next story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
So I'm not real. So was there supposed to be like a VR like add-on to Cyberpunk, or was it like a spin-off entirely?
I
what I
think it
think it. Yeah, it was a mod.
yeah.
So what happened was that in this situation, his Patreon got deleted because he was saying like you can't really do any paid mods, which whatever. I mean, like I'd probably say like if you're working on this thing for like a very very long time, and you can just say, hey, this stuff does take a lot of my time, and I don't mind doing it for the community completely for free. But if there's a possible way that you can go ahead and give some money, like I wouldn't mind that. And I'll go and show you guys some new parts of the development and stuff like that. Like I think that's completely fine, but there are some
And
people
that's
who will disagree.
I think I'm back.
Yeah, you're
Yeah,
back.
yeah, you're back.
Yeah,
What
my
what was happening
understanding with that.
with the Cyberpunk VR thing is CDPR got a hold of them. Their issue was the fact that he had it behind a paywall.
Oh, he had it behind a paywall?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, then no. No, like, I hate to be the guy who says it, but yeah, you're kind of in the wrong. I'm sorry. Like, you can go ahead and say, hey, I don't mind trying to go ahead and do it completely, like, have a complete and utter support with a person to s- just have it that way. Like, here's a Patreon, just go ahead and help me on the side. I mean, this takes a lot of my time.
I think that was that was the offer that they had made to him, was that they didn't want it like behind a paywall, but I mean, if he wanted to have like donations set up, that he could do that. And he just turned around and said no. And my understanding is, like I said, he pulled everything out. So it's kind of one of those weird things where they were like, yeah, okay, you could have a donation if people wanted, to give to you, but we don't want them to have to pay for it outright.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, I still don't there's still a lot with VR that I mean, it sounds like a good concept. I'm just not sure how like how I would use it personally with well, I mean, I'm a PlayStation guy too, so that doesn't help too much.
Yeah, you have PlayStation VR. Have you like? It's actually pretty cool. Like I've tried VR before. Now, granted, it gives you like a little bit of a headache, but like it's not bad. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah. Honestly, what I need is more like something like the Meta Glass, where I have like AR around me or something. But let's see. So, anything else more?
No, that about covers it for this week for me. Do you gentlemen have anything that you wanted to talk about?
Um, go ahead.
Well, speaking of PlayStation, so apparently there are rumors that they're going to be like adding a patch to PS5 for backwards compatibility. I've been looking at that up
That's cool.
as we've been talking, but so far it doesn't look like that's true. It's one of those things like I'll believe when I'll see it. So
I agree.
Right.
Yeah, like most things.
and also apparently Sony is already in development of the PS6, but a lot of people are like the PS5 just came out, so give us a few more years of support. So, which I'm firmly in the camp of that, considering
I think they're gonna be forced to do that given the chip shortages right now.
well
Yeah.
yeah, and also like I was on a waiting list to get a PS5 for a few years, so I mean I'd like to be able to, use mine for a few more years. So,
Yeah, it's not like these things are cheap. You should have a little bit of a shelf life on them.
yeah.
Yeah, it'd be nice to have a 8 to 10 years shelf life at least.
Yeah,
Well,
I agree.
well, the PS3 had like a 12-year shelf life basically. So
Right.
I wore mine into the ground basically. So,
Well, and that's like another thing about it is like usually with like the PS3 and stuff, it was like pretty damn advanced for its time. Even like the Xbox 360 was pretty damn advanced for its time. Like these things are supposed to like last for a little bit.
Yeah.
yeah. Well, I mean, I have an Amazon Kindle Paperwhite that is like from that's the other thing too, is like Amazon updates their hardware like every year, which that's their prerogative, but I have a Paperwhite that like from like 20 like let's see, it's 2025. I have the 2020 Kindle Paperwhite and it's just fine. So it also has all of Andrew's books on it. So um and I'm sure it'll have Exposed King on it, which comes out on the 27th.
Yes.
So so you and Eric are getting my book money allowance for the month.
Yeah. I appreciate that.
Speaking of Andrew's books, right now I'm looking at my copy of Awakening that's second on my list for the year.
Yeah, I got to work on that sequel too. I've got that about halfway fleshed out. So I'm hoping to get the sequel to Awakening out
Nice.
this year.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Mort's already asking for Shadows of Deception, the complete volume 3, which it's not done yet because I'm just now releasing book
Why the hell?
5 and I don't even have book 6 out more. You're gonna have to wait another year. So
God damn it! Right, boy, right.
I am. That's part of the reason why I was a bit behind. So but
Well,
yeah,
I think
anyway.
that's about where we're going to wrap it up tonight, gentlemen. Andrew, thank you for joining us.
I appreciate you having me on.
Yeah, and where can people find you online if they want to get a hold of you?
I'm on X at Andrew G. Nelson. You can also go to my website, which is andrewgnelson.org, and you can find my books on Amazon or at Barnes & Noble, Books A Million.
Oh, nice. Oh, you're on Books A Million too? I might have to buy I might have to buy physical copies. So from
Yeah,
there.
yep,
So
you can get them through Books A Million.
that's
Spe-
awesome.
uh, Speaking of physical copies, when is the physical copy of Exposed King coming out?
It
You able to
should
date for
be
that?
out like the early part of February.
Okay,
We're just finishing up on the formatting of it now.
nice.
Nice. And also, if I might promo here, Andrew will be on Monday's edition of the Whitfield Report this week, and I am very interested in digging in to Exposed King and kind of the politics of it. We did a lot of that tonight, but also I'm just genuinely curious about police work as well.
Same.
So tune in for that on Monday, which is when it will be available to the public. And Andrew, I'm looking forward to speaking to you on Sunday.
Likewise.
So,
Yep.
so and do either do any of you gentlemen have anything else to plug?
Nope.
So, oh, and pre-orders for American Inferno are up on
Nice.
Amazon. So go ahead and pre-order that. American Inferno comes out March 10th. So other than that, that's all I have. So
Unlike video games, it's safe to pre-order books.
yes. So alrighty. Well, I'll let Mort, since he's the host, close the thing out, and we're good to
By the way,
go.
have a wonderful day.
You
Indeed,
too.
Tim.
Stay
Peace
warm.
out, guys.
So, oh yeah, yes. Stay warm, folks.
Yeah, it's like 10 degrees here. It's nice.
You are going to hate me. So,
Sam, I already fucking know you live in Florida. Shut up, you little shit. I chose
well,
to move out here. I could have not moved out here, just so you know. But I chose this. I'm just saying it's 10 degrees. It's nice. It's winter. That's what I would expect in New England.
yes.
It's all good. I'll just get some beers. That'll warm me up.
So,
All right, I think Rumble's done being cranky. Again, thank you, gentlemen, for coming on, talking books and games, and we'll talk to everybody next week.
alrighty.
Thanks for having me on.
Our pleasure.
Thanks for coming on.